Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. On behalf of the entire crew, welcome aboard Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. Not actually affiliated with Spirit Airlines, just simply a joke about whiskey. Plus, we give you comfier seats, more legroom, and we offer full beverage services on all of our flights, including select whiskey from my private collection. We are happy for you to join us with non-stop service from Rome, or from Ibiza to Rome. Now, flight time is going to be approximately about an hour and 40 minutes, give or take. And we'll be flying at an altitude of 36,000 feet. And the weather here, from Ibiza all the way to Rome, looks to be pretty clear. Some slight clouds here and there, but nothing that'll really rattle us too much. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and thank you for flying Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. Now, I'd like you all to know that the WSA flight chat is live, so if you are on the GLR server, feel free to join. But we are going to get this plane off the ground now, shall we? It'll let me. There we go. Alrighty. Now, let's see what's going on in the chat real quick. I've got that up here. Hey, Jerry. Hey, Mikey. Happy to have you both aboard. Make yourselves comfy. Alrighty. Get this bird going. Oh, I should probably actually bring up the checklist because I don't remember exactly how to start up this flight. That will help. I'm just going to pull this off from my secondary screen, but I'm going to explain to you what all I'm doing as we're going through it. So what I did just there is I was turning on the battery switches, so we can close that back up. We won't need to touch it for a little while. So battery switches are on, external power is on, engine generators. That's the next bit here. Let's see. Where are the engine generators? Yeah, that's what you want to hear from your pilot. Oh, it's these guys. There we are. Engine generators are live. And bleeder, I've already done that. APU master switch. Mistaken. APU. Oh, where the heck is that? 737 is a little bit of an enigma. Oh, it was down here. I was looking there. I was looking for one of these little dials because that's how it is in the 787. Oh, if I could just tick the items, that'd be awesome. There we go. Alright, and APU itself. Where is that little bad boy? I always forget this one. The little small guy. There we are. These guys. Oh, come on now. There we go. So that should start the APU. Now we're basically just going to wait till the light is on, and we will be ready to start the engines up shortly. Here the APU, which is this little turbine back in the back of the jet. Here that's starting to spool up. Basically, it's a starter motor for the jet engines because they are actually very difficult to get going. Yes, I was racing an EDTM, and I don't remember how I did. I just also had a race with some of the GT5R guys, and that was a race. Well, I don't even remember. Bloody hell. Someone help me. Don't even remember where we raced. But I know it was there. I did it yesterday. I just don't remember. Oh, that was Yamakiwa. How could I forget my favorite track? You know, I actually did fairly decently. I think I finished like 6th, maybe? 5th, something like that. 7th? Somewhere mid-pack. See, the funny thing is, I haven't even had anything to drink. I've only had water. It's just a lot of I just did Nürburgring Nordschleife with the whole 24-hour thing, so my brain is fried. Oh, the green hell. That one will make your brain turn to mush. Alright, that's good. AP bleed. AP bleed, that is. Oh, I know it's on this side. I just gotta remember where it is. Oh, I'm gonna have to. Oh, there it is. I gotta make sure I flip this thing because their collisions are not right. Alright. External power. That's. Fuel pumps. I actually know where the fuel pumps are on this plane. Gotta make sure you flip this first because the stupid collision. If you've flown with me in this aircraft, you know that that's a common problem. And beacon to let the ground crew know that we're going to be starting up the engines. Beacon, I believe it's the anti-collision. Yeah, that's beacon. Call it different things all the time, but that's that. So, we've got the jetway connected here. We'll actually have to disconnect that before we do push off. We are just about done with boarding. Yeah, me, Mikey, Doug, and Cordell were all on Pro. That's all the GLR guys in Pro. Who else in... and Seal, too. Seal was also in that. So, GLR guys have populated that one. And it was some stiff competition, too. Alrighty. Now, can you hear the audio? I don't think you can hear the audio.
Whiskyfile 2800 is cleared to Fiume Airport as filed. Take off runway 06 climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure frequency is 119er decimal 45 squawk 7414.
Okay, that should be fine. Oh, I've got to actually confirm that.
Whiskyfile 2800 cleared to Fiume Airport as filed. Take off runway 06 climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure on 119er decimal 45 squawk 7414.
I just want to click the thing.
Whiskyfile 2800 is correct. There. Contact ground on 118 decimal 5 when ready to taxi. Good day.
Sometimes this game is just a little bit stupid. Now, can you hear the audio from the plane? Or no? Because I know I had that problem last time. Like, can you hear the whine coming through this? Because I've been switching up my audio a little bit. I just want to make sure that's actually coming through. Ah, sweet. Okay, good. Then that is actually working. Yay! I know how to do things. I'm proud of myself. Okay, let's disconnect the jetway here.
Visa ground, Whiskyfile 2800, could you please disconnect the jetway from the aircraft?
Now, something that is going to be new in this flight is that I have sort of figured out how to do the radio. So, down here is the radio, and I'm going to be actually entering in everything. So, contact ground. Now, we're already contacting the ground here, but I actually know how to punch things in and get it to work. I'm proud of myself for that, because before I would just do it via this menu here and basically select the things that I needed to, but now I can just actually select just the things that I need to based on what I actually need. And
TV's ground,
punching
Whiskyfile
my
2800
frequencies.
with golf ready to taxi IFR.
Whiskyfile 2800 taxi to in hold short of runway 06, via taxiway Alpha.
Hey,
Contact
Josh.
tower on 118.5 wind
Happy to
rate.
have you aboard, sir.
Taxiing hold short runway 06 via taxiway Alpha Whiskyfile 2800.
Now that we have disconnected from the jetway, I'd like you to take a little moment here and pay attention to the safety video for this aircraft.
We're flying in a Boeing 737-8 Max.
Now please take a moment and pay attention as we go through the safety information for this aircraft. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt. Insert metal fittings one into the other and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight, as we may experience turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft, 2 forward, 2 over the wing, and 2 aft. Please take a few moments to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exits. Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the direction of the arrow. If you are seated next to an emergency exit, please carefully read the special instructions card located by your seat. If you do not wish to perform the functions described in the event of an emergency, please ask a flight attendant to reseat you. Each door is equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft. In the event of a water landing, a life vest is located in the pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your head. Pass the straps around your waist and adjust it at the front. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord, only when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpiece. Your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the strap, and hug the cushion to your chest. And please note, the doors are not flotation devices. Oxygen and air pressure are always being monitored in the event of a decompression. An oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you, place it firmly over your mouth and nose, secure the elastic band behind your head, and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until a crew member advises you to remove it. At this time, your portable electronic devices must be set to airplane mode until an announcement is made upon arrival. If you noticed your video stream has stopped, that's because you fell for that and I will never get tired of that joke. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight, even though some of you think you look cool doing it. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. You will find this and all other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. If you do not have a seat pocket in front of you, you're probably not actually on a plane, which we don't find all that surprising. We strongly suggest you read this card before takeoff, and good luck if you don't have one. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members or in the chat next to the video. So sit back, relax, and when we're safely at cruising altitude, pour yourself a glass and enjoy your flight on Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. Do I have too much fun making those? Yes. Yes, I do. Am I ever gonna stop? No. And as per, we got the no smoking light. There's actually a dial on this plane. 737s are old enough to actually have that. And then, of course, the seatbelt sign. So make sure your seatbelt is fastened. And we'll begin our pushback. Flight crew, prepare for pushback.
Ibiza ground, Whiskyfile 2800 requesting pushback.
Whiskyfile 2800 pushback. Request accepted.
Yeah, duct tape for any of the unruly Karens aboard. Fortunately, we do some intensive screening before we allow anyone on our flights. Only cool guys are allowed on, and that means you guys. I'm not shilling for likes. Huh. Interesting. The tug light is shining through my aircraft. That shouldn't happen. But hey. Let's turn ourselves to the right here.
Whiskyfile 2800 requesting pushback tug to steer the aircraft to the right.
Whiskyfile 2800, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
And again, Todd, Josh, Simon there, y'all can join on the WSA flight chat if you want to join the audio here. It's lonely in the cockpit. But you can always stay back there in first class if you'd like.
Ibiza ground, Whiskyfile 2800 requesting the end of pushback.
Whiskyfile 2800 request to end. Pushback received.
Yeah, I had to vouch for you. And I gave them a couple $100 too. Alright, let's get these engines going. So, first things first, always check, make sure your thrust levers are at idle. That is 0%, that is 0%. So, check that off. Engine selector mode, that is this dial here. It is actually going to do both of these at the same time. So, switch that to start mode. And as per usual in Boeing aircraft, we always start with engine number 2 first. So we flip that guy. And engine number 2 is of course the right engine here. And that's starting up just nicely. That was Ryanair flight 8140. Oh, that spools up. Let's see where that's going. Or where that was coming from. 140. Ah, it's going to Barcelona. And no, I do not do the list thing because my brain does not function that way. No offense to any Castilians out there, but it sounds like a speech impediment when I try and say it. So I'd rather not offend you guys. Rather just offend you by mispronouncing it in general. Nice little tail camera. Got a lot of cool things going on. Cameras here. So, looking at our readouts here, the engines are stable. They started up just fine. So now we will start engine number 1. And come back into the cockpit here, make sure read the little readouts here. Once the engine is spooling up, I'm going to actually pull back on, actually I'm going to turn on flight director, bump that up to 11,000 feet. Very much pressure. Actually, I don't know what that is right now. Check the METAR data. So, this of course does give you real-time weather information. We are currently at LEIB in Ibiza. It is giving me at 1024. So that is, of course, in HPA. Hectopascals, I think is what it is. I will raise that up to 1024. Now they will read it out in inches of mercury, but the METAR data is actually being sourced from the actual weather instruments at Ibiza airport, so that is why that is that. Huh. Well, let's get going now, shall we? Back to clearance. That's your clearance. So let's get this road on the show. Now we have, of course, done all of our pre-flight planning and everything like that just before the flight, as anyone would do. But we will be taking a fairly straight shot over the Mediterranean all the way to Rome. And again, it should be a relatively quick flight. We're looking at about an hour and a half or so, give or take. Hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, something like that. Don't worry, we won't be flying over any Ukrainian airspace, and this is an American-based airline anyway, so we can fly wherever the heck we damn well please. Heart goes out to the Ukrainians there, because that is... It's crazy seeing that area go back into war again. I mean, I know the Eastern Europe has been sort of embroiled in war and subjugation pretty much since World War II, so sadly it's not something that's entirely new. Eventually we'll fly over that area. We'll avoid Russia though, because yeah, I've never been a Whisky fan. I don't know if really anyone who is a fan of Russia. Well, I guess Russian government. Probably people who are fans of the country. And one of the guys I listened to on the radio, he actually studied Russia. Studied in Russia too. Did some incredible work working with Israel and Russia. And I enjoy his radio program. Fellow by the name of Dennis Prager. Really neat guy. Has a Prager U, and that'll probably get this pulled from anything, because YouTube really does not like them. They banned one of their videos about the Ten Commandments because it talked about murder. Prager jokingly said in a congressional review that if he just took out that and just did the 9 Commandments, would that be okay? That, of course, got a laugh out of Congress. It was a damn funny line. Alrighty. Let's see here. So, we're going to first tune to...
Ibiza Tower Whiskyfile 2800 ready for departure runway 06 IFR to Fiume. Whiskyfile 2800 altimeter tree 0 decimal 24 wind 019er at 5. Cleared for takeoff runway 06.
Okay, a little bit of a crosswind, but at 5 knots, that's nothing.
Takeoff runway 06 Whiskyfile 2800.
Alright, give a little bit of a trim up, get our flaps down, 10 degrees. Oh no, I should actually probably turn on my lights. I have not done that yet. So that one can stay on. Logo lights because it's daylight, we don't need. Nav lights we should probably have on. Wing lights we don't need on. Because I'm a competent pilot. At least I did that before we took off. So that would have been embarrassing. It certainly is embarrassing sitting here. Alright. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for takeoff. Now what that is the basically emergency brake if we have to abort takeoff. I don't expect anything, but off we go.
for Whiskyfile 2800.
Oh, it's because I already pressed that button. No, stop it. Just turn on, please. Thank you. LNAV. Oh, where's the VNAV? There's VNAV. Alright, 2119. 119. 450. Switch over to that.
Barcelona Center Whiskyfile 2800 is passing 2,300 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 2800 Barcelona Center altimeter 30.24 continues at ID 500 as planned. Whiskyfile 2800 keep speed not above 250 knots.
Keep speed not above 250 knots. Whiskyfile 2800.
Now this is my navigation here. I'm actually going to switch that out. Not that, give me some of the weather information. That gives me some of the radar range here. And both data. Here, reports, why not? I'm missing much because we'll be flying over the Mediterranean, but hey, it's useful stuff. That should do. And boys, we are in the air. Look at that! I can kind of do this sometimes. Yay! Alrighty. Now what's neat is, in this plane, if you saw on the 787 that I saw before, this one actually has a working heads-up display. You just gotta sort of position your head right, but you can kind of see what's going on there. That's pretty cool. You got your altimeter on this side, you got your speed on this side. Basically, you can see if you're level or not. It's got all the same readouts that's down here, so it's pretty cool. I like this plane. I just don't like some of the collision with the buttons because I flip this thing up and down all the time. It's really annoying. These folks need to fix that. we are approaching 11,000 feet now. So that's the reason why the auto throttle is doing that. And now that we're above 10,000 feet, we turn off these lights. We do not need them on anymore. And we'll just stay using our just our standard navigation lights and all that, just to avoid any collision.
Climb and maintain flight level 190.
Climb and maintain flight level 190, Whiskyfile 2800.
Alright, going to 19,000 feet. It's a lovely day over the Mediterranean here. Few clouds here, but no rain, very little wind. I mean, even up here we're getting only 10 knots of wind, pretty much at our tail. The way I can tell is this right here. So that readout here, that is the direction, cardinal direction, so it's almost due west. And at 12 knots now, so pretty cool. We've got our ground speed here at 310 knots. I always forget what the T stands for, but that's basically your airspeed. What does TAS stand for? That's what you want to hear from a pilot, not knowing what his own things do. True airspeed. That's what the T stands for. Because you have your indicated airspeed, that's IAS. That's usually what's being read out here, and so this is true airspeed. Because as you go up in altitude, you'll technically be going faster, but your indicated airspeed will say, "No, you're not." And that's because the air is getting thinner. So at cruising altitude, we'll be doing 0.81 Mach, but it'll indicate that we're only going 250 knots, which is definitely not Mach 0.81, but it's because, well, we're at a different altitude. 0.81 Mach is 535 knots, give or take. Depends on, of course, pressure, because Mach is based on speed of sound, or based on pressure. The actual Mach speed, like what's generally accepted, is at sea level. So yeah, there's your little sciencey bit. I mean, y'all probably knew that, but I'm a nerd and I like explaining things. So you just gotta deal with the pilot doing piloty things. And granted, this is what this whole thing's about, it's just me being a massive nerd and enjoying flying aircraft. It's nice. Oh no, that's a shot. Is a shot indeed. Ooh, that's a shot too. Yeah, the mirroring doesn't quite work that well, but you know, that's what you get for shortcutting with the UVs. But lovely. I do have to say, you know, given all the faults and the glitches and whatnot with this game, it is a pretty game. A very pretty game. I do like that.
Whiskyfile 2800, please expedite your climb flight level 190.
Yeah, the reason why they're saying expedite is because even though it's leveling off at 18,000, my pressure I forgot to set to the default. So that is the default, 2992. So now I'm 500 feet below my level, but now I'm coming back up, and the aircraft is adjusting accordingly.
Whiskyfile 2800, climb and maintain flight level 250.
Yes, ma'am.
Climb and maintain flight level 250, Whiskyfile 2800.
There we are. To 25,000 feet. I forgot to change this back. And the APU is still on too, isn't it? What happens when you rush through your checklist a little bit? Oops. It's fine. Actually, planes can run with their APUs. It's burning extra fuel. That's usually why they don't do it. What we can do. Actually, I should probably just check that. Let's see if you bleed. Probably get this out of the way. Now the AP bleed. AP master switch. And the engine moves it back to normal. So we're good. That's only probably a massive fine and the loss of my license, but hey! They didn't even give me a license anyways. So, it's on you guys for hopping aboard this flight. I kind of know what I'm doing sometimes. Just sometimes. Now we're leveling off at 25,000. We'll be then probably shooting up to 31 and then to 35 or 36. I think it's 36. I read my report, I swear.
Whiskyfile 280
Yeah, we're going right up to 36.
and maintain flight level 360.
Climb and maintain flight level 360 Whiskyfile 2800.
Yeah, here we are. Now the wonderful thing is that now we are approaching the top of our ascent. I do believe it's now time to make an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, I have turned off the fasten the seatbelt sign. You are now free to move about the cabin. The flight attendants will be coming through shortly to offer full beverage services, as well as give out snacks such as peanuts and pretzels. And if one of them flight attendants can also bring me a glass of water, that would be awesome. Love a sandwich too, but my fridge is currently empty because I should get groceries at some point. It's okay, I usually get it when I go home from work.
Arabia 381 contact flown approach on 119.405. Good day.
I could get something delivered if I really wanted to. Now that's the epitome of laziness. What a society we live in. If I just don't want to put on pants. Oh, that's a little bit behind the scenes, isn't it? Pants. I'm wearing shorts. Are there aren't shorts technically called short pants? English is a silly language. Now you're just hearing me ramble. But hey, that's what happens when you're alone in the cockpit. Again, reminder, if you're on the GLR server, feel free to join the WSA flight chat. It's down at the bottom of the menu. Feel free to join. You can be on this riveting stream. Soaring above every other stream because all the other streams happen way down there on ground level below. We're 29,000 feet. But cool like that. We're also dropping our mind control agent. This is a top secret, super classified. That's the one's above classified, but it's not quite top secret. Even though it should be. I mean, you're controlling people's minds, but we've done it so much at this point that it's not really that big of a concern. You will bow down to your governmental overlords. They own you. See, the trick is you have to wear a tinfoil hat. That means that's so that these satellites can't read your thoughts. Also, the Earth is flat. JFK was an inside job. It's actually a clone that John F. Kennedy killed because he wanted to go back on a PT boat out in the middle of Vietnam just to enjoy the rest of his life. Not Vietnam, Korea. He was in Korea. And Abe Lincoln was a vampire hunter, and that's the whole conspiracy behind his assassination. It's only loosely the plot of the movie, I think. I remember watching it. I don't remember any of it. What other conspiracies can I just tout out? See, I'm out of harebrained conspiracy theories. Someone say a funny one in the chat. I mean, there's the classic Roswell aliens, the crash in 1947. But to anyone who watched Stargate, you know it's just the Asgardians. Not those Asgardians, different ones. I know you're thinking, oh, it's Thor, and yes, it was, but not that guy. Been binge watching that. That was I watched that a lot when I was a kid, and I watched it a lot when I was an adult because I love that show. Delightfully cheesy. Let's see here. Now, because I put it in the title there, if you're wondering what I'm actually running on this system, I'm just gonna flex and make people angry because you can't get graphics cards these days. I'm of course running an i9-10900K out of an Asus Tough Motherboard Z490. And the graphics card, of course, as you can see in the title, because, yeah, I'm just gonna flex like that. It's mainly get clicks, because gotta get them clicks. It's an EVGA RTX 3080 Ti. I believe it's the XC3. I think that's what that one's called. Yeah, the XC3 Ultra. Actually looking at the box. And got that all running through an NVMe, or not an NVMe, an M.2 solid state drive, as well as I've got a couple of hard drives, the actual disk type hard drives, which are getting rarer and rarer because, they're slow, but they're reliable. So I use those for mass storage. And it's a good system. And I really like the case to it. The case is heavy as hell, but it's like that scene from Step Brothers. It's got so much room for activities. Because it's huge. It is a full tower, and I have more fans than I know what to do with. Got 11 inside it. Yeah, I managed to fit that many. It's fully air-cooled. And it keeps things nice and cool. And usually when running things full tap, it's sitting right around 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. Depends on how hot it is outside, but the fact that it can get that much cooling out of it, pretty nice. That's how I can run this at 1080p. Ultra settings. The only reason it's at 1080p is because I don't like running things off my TV, because it's the only 4K quote-unquote monitor I have. It is quite nice. Now it's the easy part of the flight. We can basically just kick our feet back and relax as we fly. Currently, so that's Spain. Right there. I don't even see a piece of anymore. It's covered by clouds, but it's basically down there. And what is this island that we are approaching? Oh no, that's not Spain. That is. What is the name of that island? Terrible geography. It's a fun game where we find out how much JD knows about geography, and it's very little. Very little. Rely on Google Maps. That is actually not Spain. It's technically owned by. Oh, we should go to Gibraltar. It's a fun place to fly into. Maybe we'll do that when we do our free week around Europe. But that is something really high. Oh, Mallorca. That's what that was. What else is that? Is Mallorca? Is it development? Yeah, that's that one. So that's Menorca. And different areas. Now we are getting ourselves a decent tailwind. We've got 38 knots basically to our rear. Basically blowing due west. So we should be able to get there a little bit quicker. That'll be nice. How's everyone enjoying the flight so far? I think we've only got one person watching. I think that might be me. No. Oh. Not free. You're bold. Yeah, see, I get crazy when I'm alone. See, I always wonder why do they have this screen here? I mean, it just basically shows the rotor trip. But nothing else, and I can't do anything to it. But I mean, it's nice that they show me, but I kind of wish that they would let me see other things. I mean, some of the other planes would let me do that. Not this one. Oh, it's still a nice aircraft. And see, we avoided the issue that this plane is notorious for, which is, you know, it would crash on takeoff. It's actually what got pulled from service in 2019 because it had an interesting issue where it would stall itself out because it has an automatic, basically pitch up thing to compensate as you accelerate the engine. So you notice the engines are pretty well in the plane. It's kind of got this flat edge on the bottom to basically prevent it from striking the ground. Mainly because the landing gear is pretty darn low. That's a design relic of the 60s from when this plane was originally designed. And it was okay back in the 60s, it was okay in the 70s, it was okay in the 80s and 90s, even into the 2000s. But when they designed this puppy in the 2010s, the engine cowlings were getting bigger and bigger, and these LEAP engines are phenomenal because they are highly, highly efficient. They have and the way that they are efficient is because of the cowling. If you look at here on the outside, cowling for the intake versus the size of the actual jet turbine is pretty large. Don't remember exactly what it is, but it's like the ratio of the cowling to the compressor is like 10 to 1, something like that. And the bigger those things are, the more efficient it is, the better it is at burning the fuel, and which allows the plane to go further. That's the reason why 737s are now able to go completely across the country. When before, yes, it was a bit rarer for that. But in order to fit that engine on the wing and not really adjust the height of the landing gear and all that, they adjusted the engines to be a little bit more forward and a little higher up on the wing. And that created a little bit of a balance problem. Now, typically when Boeing is designing the 737, or really any aircraft in its set family, so, you know, the 747, 737, 787, the 777, or the 777, every generation of that plane is designed to basically handle like the previous generation. Now, they'll put in new bells, new whistles, all that, but they will try and keep the flight characteristics. Alright, connecting to Marseille Center. Now, we do have an aircraft actually approaching.
120.75 for Whiskyfile 2800.
120.750. Oops. Clear. 120.750.
Marseille Center Whiskyfile 2800, flight level 360.
Now there's an aircraft that is approaching us. Can't see it on any of my instruments here, but I do have a map to my side here. You can see that aircraft there. I always keep that off to the side of my screen, just makes it easier to see things. Oh, it's down to lost. There it is. Now let's see what this aircraft is. LDA 7167. Yeah, that's what it's saying. I'm blue.
124.5 for Whiskyfile 2800.
Alright, 2124.500.
Marseille Center Whiskyfile 2800, flight level 360.
Whiskyfile 2800, Marseille Center. Continue to inspect as planned.
Interesting, that plane is not showing up on my thing. It apparently goes by LA. LA 7167, which is interesting. Which is LAN. It was flying from Palma de Mallorca to Madrid, which, yeah, that's accurate. Madrid. Lord. Guess that must have been it. It's just all open sea. Can't call it the ocean because it is a sea. Middle Mediterranean. Let's see if it's still keeping the time here. No, that's not even showing. Oh no, here it is. The clock's running a little bit fast. I actually set this, trying to set it to the rough minute based on where I am, because of course right now all of Europe is in darkness because it's the nighttime there. So how is it the daytime? Because I have powers. Basically, I just set it to daytime. I would fly it at night if I wasn't streaming and YouTube wasn't terrible with its compression rate, but it's terrible with its compression rate. I tend not to fly at night if I'm streaming. I like flying at night, it's pretty. You know, what's neat is my aunt said that she watched a couple of these. Was very impressed with the visuals because she remembers when Microsoft Flight Simulator was visually very primitive. Alright, just to give you an idea, let's see if I can pull something up. Yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator 1.0. Now this is before my time. But it was... Oh, come on now. Trying to find a good picture. But there are not many good pictures. Keep in mind, the thing was pretty low res. We'll do my capture. I'll pull this up. That's what it looked like. Oh, how far it's come. Pretty amazing how far it's come. Because the thing is, like, I mean, this plane is, it's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty darn close. And they actually do have study level aircraft that are pretty darn close to it, so. And so you can really
Whiskyfile
get pretty close to it.
Contact Marseille Center on 119.825. Good day.
119.825 for Whiskyfile 2800.
119.825.
Marseille Center Whiskyfile 2800 flight level 360.
Whiskyfile 2800 Marseille Center, continue to Babin as planned.
Now the thing is, like, with this aircraft, I don't really think it's quite study level, but it is fairly detailed. I mean, for me, this is doing all that I want it to. So, you know, it's got pretty much everything that you could ask for. I can flip all sorts of little dials. The dome light is on. Oh well. But there's a lot of little things that you can mess around with in this aircraft. And pretty much nothing you can certainly get yourself into trouble. I fortunately know some of what I'm doing. Not all of it, but I know some of it. See, now I know there's a light. I just gotta find it. It's not this dome light. The helm was off. I swear I know what I'm doing. See, it's also the problem of flying in multiple aircraft. Oh, don't want to touch that. That would be bad. That would just shut off the fuel and then we'd crash. Then we'd have to do a water landing. I don't want to do a water landing. Does not sound like fun. There we are. Because we don't need it. It's daylight. See, that's the problem with all these aircraft, and that's the reason why usually a pilot will only fly one type of aircraft, is because now they're all over the place. You know, some will fly multiple variations of the same aircraft, but because usually those are pretty close and you could stay certified in that, but it's very rare that a pilot would be in multiple types of aircraft at the same time throughout their career. It's just, it's not safe, because you want to try and familiarize yourself with a single aircraft, so you don't run into the issues that I am, where I'm like, oh, where the heck is this? Because it's in a different spot than in the other aircraft that I was flying. But I'm the only pilot at WSA Airlines, so well, isn't that redundant? Wouldn't that be Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines, but calling it WSA Airlines? See, again, feel free to join the WSA flight chat, because I'm going crazy being stuck in the cockpit all by my lonesome. I can use the brain. we're making decent time. Because we are approaching... What is this island? See, again, we're playing the game of does JD know his geography? And the answer is no. No, he does not. Is that Sardinia? I do believe it is. We'll be flying over Sardinia and Corsa shortly. It's part of a lot of these are. And you can kind of see it in the distance. That's what this is here. So this is Sardinia. Corsa is, of course, over here. The humor is terrible, I know, but it's filled with puns and I love it. Can't stop the puns. Many friends have tried. Many friends. Oh man, I'm actually getting really hungry. Gotta figure out what I want to do for sort of lunch to dinner. I wonder if that Mexican restaurant is open nearby, because they have really good tortas. Let's check the email, shall we? I'm gonna give you my location, but they're delicious. Oh no, they're closed Sundays. Well, yesterday. Oh well. I had a burrito yesterday too. Place that's actually open on Sundays. Doesn't have good tortas. Tried their torta. It was okay. It just wasn't great. I was hoping for great. I always hope for greatness. They just did not aspire to be disappointing. Should always aspire to have a good torta. Their bread, the bread just wasn't good. See, the trick is the other place used a ciabatta roll, which was really good. This place, I don't know what it is. I've had decent tortas, but this place, man, their tortas are not good. The burritos are amazing. That's why I get a burrito from there. I also get a quesadilla every now and again too, because I like good quesadillas. And they fry the cheese just a little bit sometimes, because it'll spill out from the tortilla and it gets all crunchy. Some good eatings. Their salsa is pretty good too. Both places. I could just get McDonald's or something. I just don't feel like driving. I've done enough driving. That's the life I live. Walk to various places and get food. It's wonderful. I have 3 Mexican food places within walking distance, as well as a bar, which I've never been to because the place seemed a little seedy. Maybe one of these days I'll man up and go there. And then there's McDonald's. If I walk further, there's a Little Caesars pizza. I really want to hate myself. Granted, it is the cheapest pizza in town, but there's a reason for that.
Ooh, that is something I can do. Get pizza. Love pizza. Not from Little Caesars, don't worry. I have standards. Man, let's we're approaching Sardinia. It's a lovely, lovely day. I just want to see if they do delivery, because that would be awesome. That means I don't even have to go out. I also really need to do laundry. They do it through that? Oh, okay, okay. I can do it through DoorDash. I have DoorDash. It's kind of fascinating that a pizza place would do it through DoorDash when back when I was a kid, pizza place, you just do it through the pizza place. You know, they hire some 17-year-old, 18-year-old with a Honda Civic. Hey, Neil, how are you doing, sir? The coastline that I'm coming up on is the Sardinia coast. We've still got probably a little under an hour to get to Rome. This is Sardinia. Over there is Corsica. We're just flying over the Mediterranean. Happy for you to join. I've been sort of going a little crazy in my solitude. So, yeah. If you want to join the chat, I'm happy to talk with you on the WSA Flight chat. There is the radio there, although I'm guessing you are probably with your wife.
Whiskyfile 2800, contact drone center on 131.1. Good day.
131.1 Whiskyfile 2800.
Let's see here. 131.100. And switch there.
Rome Center Whiskyfile 2800, flight level 360.
Whiskyfile 2800, Rome Center, continue as planned.
But we had ourselves a nice takeoff from Ibiza, and we are going to have a fairly decent approach into Rome, so it should be nice. It'll actually be, hopefully, rather scenic, because the routing to it will actually fly you over the old city, which will look spectacular. Ooh. Let's see here. Ooh, I can get Thai food. See, I'm just really hungry. I'm just seeing what I could get delivered. Because I've been introduced to the wonders that is Grubhub. Hashtag not a sponsor. Because I'm just feeling lazy today. I don't feel like doing much. I'm sitting in a comfy chair. Courtesy of GT Omega. I could get Del Taco, that's just silly. Live in the land of good tacos. I only get them when I want to eat Krabby Taco, and we'll just drive there myself. I think I was inspired by my past orders. I've only had one past order. And it's funny because it's also giving me all Mexican food, despite the fact that my 2 orders ever was once from a Chick-fil-A and once from a poke place. Got a poke bowl that I had delivered to work because my boss said, hey, if you're working through lunch, you can get Grubhub and have it delivered, and I will pay for it. I said, done. Because we're rolling through some major projects at work. And yeah, I've pretty much been busy since November. Actually, October. That's when those projects all started. Because I don't know if I can disclose the customer, although I'm not going to mention my company name anyways. We are working for a notable coffee chain. And the notable coffee chain has several dozen locations in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama that I've been doing designs for. It's been pretty good. And pretty much it is what's letting our company be as profitable as it has been. We've been doing pretty good, just with all things considered. But I've been looking at construction documents. It's been driving me crazy. So I can look at construction documents for a little while. Then they start giving me a headache, but that's all that I see all day, every day. Brain sort of short-circuited. So I've been doing other things, like racing and flying airplanes, and writing music. Yeah, just to keep you sane. Gotta keep yourself sane. Especially in this crazy world. And it is a crazy world. It zoom out to all the things. I like how there's a thing called sweater weather, but it's like every genre of food, so it's like, where's your consistency, Grubhub? Be nice. Luxor doing this spent 2 weeks there. Is stunning place. I can imagine. I mean, everything on the Mediterranean is stunning. There, private boat, I'm like touring around. Lima Island? I probably didn't pronounce that right. My Italian's terrible. A week after, I hired the boat again, went across on a patio on Corsica. We get more stuff. I can imagine. That must have been some trip. Yeah, I've only ever been to Rome in Italy. Haven't really been able to tour around much of anywhere around the Mediterranean beyond that. And it was just short time. I only had a week in Rome and basically went around and did all the things. Well, at the same time, we were doing I was there with my architecture studio when I was in school. This is my 4th year. And I was studying in Dessau, Germany at the Bauhaus at Anhalt University. Basically Anhalt University in Dessau. There's Anhalt's basically their basically their state school system. And we had a project to build a bridge across the Tiber. And so we went there, visited the site, of course, but also did sort of a architecture nerds tour. Drove around Europe. He put the car on the carpet. Get to Sardinia. Nice. Yeah, at least that'd be nice just to be able to get around. The ways that we got around in Rome was we biked, which was a little bit sketchy because the drivers in Rome are a bit homicidal. Kinda scared the crap out of me. Well, that was fun. I will give it that. Either that or I walked. We went to museums, we went to a couple of art galleries, poked our head into various places that would let us in, some places that we got us snuck in. It was interesting. And we biked all the way down the Tiber too, which is pretty cool. Had some fantastic street food. See, that's the thing that I really miss is the street food. I mean, yeah, we got food trucks here and restaurants galore, but I don't know. Can't top selling food in Italy. I commend you, sir, for driving in Rome. I would never. I'd just be deathly terrified. I'm a very timid driver. I don't like to be aggressive. Which I know with me being on your rear when, yeah, it is a lot like the lower lobbies in GTS. It really is. Which I've been doing a lot of. That's been fun. I should probably stream those. Idea. Yeah. Yeah, it does let you get off, which is nice. You can pretty much go anywhere, but still. Yeah, driving it in Rome, that would just terrify me. Yeah, I know, not on the track. Actually, you know, compared to others, I am reserved. I put pressure on, but I don't take moves unless I know I can get around it cleanly. But I know I've got some decent pace. It was about 120, 130 meters, give or take. I don't think I have any renders on here, but I'll make sure to show it in the chat. So I'll throw that up in the M7 or something like that, because I know I have them somewhere. I've just got to remember where I put them. I think it's on my backup hard drive. But it was interesting because it was, you know, it was in the old section of the city, and we were basically just given a task: make something, cross the bridge. So I made something, and I did a very reserved kind of design. And my professor said, well, he wants something that's a little bit more extravagant. Now, I'm a practical designer, so I simply had just designed a bridge that would cross it. But in hearing what he said, it's like, okay, I know exactly what I need to do. I need to just make this thing absurd. Still keep the ideas that I had, because I wanted it to be sort of this, I almost created like an amphitheater kind of thing. But I wanted the bridge to at least serve a purpose beyond just a crossing. And so then I kind of just went over the top with it. I didn't fully design it out just because we kind of ran out of time before I had to build the whole thing. But basically had like a restaurant and retail space underneath the bridge. Just went all out, and I made a pretty cool model too. The model was fantastic because they made the terrible mistake, and I'm guessing they changed the policy after me, but they made the terrible mistake of charging per sheet of material to laser cut. and they only charged, I think, like €2 or €4. I think it was only €2 actually per material, per sheet of material. So I laser cut so many things and just made it insane. And see, at my university, at Cal Poly, they charge you every 10 minutes. It's like $2, something like that. So it's not, or no, it's like $4. I think it was for 10 minutes. So it's not extravagant, but you know, you gotta budget the time to your actual budget. But I got that thing laser cut, and it was like a few hours worth of cutting. But hey, it cost me, I think, 10 or 12 euro. I thought that was a steal. It is, but this was a German professor. So, and plus, I'm a very practical designer in and of myself. It's part of the reason why I was like, ooh, I'll go to Germany. But yeah, so there's the Italian coast. We are approaching. But the thing is, like, yes, I know Italy is, you know, they're the design capital of the world. I mean, if the world was designed by Italians but engineered by the Germans, you know, the world would be great. But the Italian sentiment with it is like, yeah, it needed to make a statement there, but I also wanted to try and fit in with the context because it was like right in the center of the old city. This thing, to be honest, in my opinion, what I actually designed probably wouldn't have fit in with that, would have outraged the Romans. Now, further south or further north, sure, could have worked, but not there. I was doing sort of a concrete kind of thing that I was doing sort of like a, yeah, work but not break, but both are never cheap. No, they're not. But yeah, so I'll show you that bridge. It was actually a really neat project. I really enjoyed it. We had some pretty cool models because we did a 1 to 500 scale model of the sort of city context. And then I did a 1 to... It was an odd scale to them, but it's not an odd scale to me. It was a 1/8 inch to 1 foot model, which I think is like 1 to 150? 1 to 125, something like that. Actually, no, it's a 1 to 48. That's what it is. It was a 1 to 48 model of the bridge, so it was pretty neat. See, I know how to do math. I went to school. No, it wasn't 1 to 48. It was 1 to 9. I don't know. Can't remember if it was a 1/8 inch or it was a 1/4 inch model. So now I'm actually doubting even my own scales. So yeah, standard architecture scales in America are, you know, 1/4 inch equals a foot, 1/8 inch equals a foot. For really big things, you can do 16th. 30 seconds, pretty tiny, but you know, you can do it. Ooh, I can get the chicken coop delivered. That place is good. That place is really good. I haven't been there forever. Sorry, I'm still hungry. Yeah, they really do. Because, you know, every person has their own design aesthetic. You know, completely free from any restriction. Man, they can go off on so many tangents. And part of it, what benefits me in my current line of work is that I do eat healthy, but see, for me it's about gaining muscle mass, and muscle mass means calories. If it's chicken, chicken's healthy. Just because it's fried. Has cabbage on it. The cabbage happens to be mixed in with a bunch of other things and some sauce, and it's basically coleslaw, but it's delicious. I might do that. Let's get off here. I'll order that up. Let's see. For me, it's not just about healthy, because I usually eat reasonably healthy. I don't eat just pure junk, but it's about working out. My arm still hurts from Thursday. Hey, Todd. We are going to begin our descent in... tell you how many minutes. We'll be beginning our descent in probably about 10 minutes. No, I eat everything. For me, it's calorie intake is the more important thing, because I'm only actually I weighed myself today. I'm only 142 pounds. I lost weight somehow. Although my weight fluctuates about like plus or minus 5 pounds. So what is that? 70? Yes, it is the Neil from Australia. The one and only Neil the Seal. Yeah, I do need all the calories I can get. I do eat my fair share. I try and keep it at between the 2,000 and 3,000 mark. It's usually where I'm decent at, especially if I'm working out. And for the metric folk, that's 64 kilograms. That ain't much. Ooh. I will say, it is a good problem to have, where I'm underweight rather than overweight. Yeah, Todd loves the topless stewardesses. Oh, there's the Italian coastline.
Whiskyfile 2800 descent and maintain flight level 290. Keep speed not above 270 knots.
Descend and maintain flight level 290. Keep speed not above 270 knots. Whiskyfile 2800.
Come on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are beginning our descent. I have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. The flight attendants will be coming about, making their final compliance checks, and picking up any trash, cups, glasses, plates, or anything that may be abound. At this time, please make sure to pack up any personal electronic devices, such as your cell phones, music players, etc. Personal laptops. Make sure they are stowed.
Whiskyfile 2800, please expedite your descent. Flight level
Broski,
290.
I just started the descent. Calm down. You expedite. Yes, sir, I will happily do that. There are 3 cars on there. You'll get the Mazda touring car, you'll get the Renault Megane Trophy, and you will get the BMW Z4. Or Z4 if you're an American. How'd you like the color mixture there? Because I based it pretty much off of my old Guinness Renault Megane and basically just translated that design language to the other two cars. I think it worked out pretty well. Ooh, there's an ice cream truck out there. Now we will be basically flying directly over the airport. So the airport is right here. You can actually see it pretty clearly. And because there's not any clouds, man, it is nice and clear. We are going to have a wonderful landing. So if I screw this up, man, it's entirely on me. I can't even blame the weather for it. Yeah, well, hopefully you'll get there. Things have pretty much opened up, so I know a lot of the European Union is dropping a lot of their restrictions and everything like that, so yeah, especially with the streaming and stuff like that, because you were watching from someone else's view, but it's got Marmite logos on the back, because Marmite was originally supposed to race in that one. Has Guinness logos galore, for Mikey, and got a few of my chickens on it because, of course, they do. That is courtesy of Martin's Chicken Farm and JD's Chicken Feed and Tackle. We feed them the best, so they taste the best.
Descend and maintain flight level 190. Keep speed not above 250 knots.
Yeah, that's never gonna get old.
Maintain flight level 190. Keep speed not above 250 knots. Whiskyfile 2800.
I was actually surprised at how distinct they were. You know, some of the other ones, they just kind of went with bright colors and whatnot, but with ours really stood out. You could really see them from the sides and the back. They were pretty clear. I'm very, very pleased with that. Yeah, that would be lovely. I've got to, you know, international travel is always a little bit more hectic, but I wouldn't mind going. Certainly been quite a long time since I've been to Europe. I was back there and yes, I know, it's the plane, it's not me. Now the trick with this plane is to get it to... It's actually got a pretty smart autopilot. But as it's coming in for the landing, you need to slow it down in order to get to descend faster. So full speed brakes and that will get us going. Yeah, if you can... Now, if you do end up doing that, I would love to try and get out there. I've just got to also get a passport. I do not have a current one. And... yeah, then I will happily do that. Being in Europe would be lovely. Yeah, that would be. Because I genuinely don't remember how to race on a controller anymore. Because it's been so long. And as fun as it would be to ship it over, I will just slum it and just be slow. Throw me in Pro-Am with where Cordell thought he should be. Now, we are going to be coming in, I believe, on 34 right, I believe is what's running. I'm going to pull up mine now. Oh, I don't even have it open. Oh, no, I do. I found it. Where are we flying in? Move the routing. There it is. Yeah, so we're going to be flying on 34 right, which I do believe is going to be this runway here. This is 34 left. Oops. Ah, silly camera. You can't quite see the numbers. But I know that's the runway that I'm going to, so it'll be fine. Now, of course, you've got Rome here. Let's see here. It's always fun to try and figure out where I am. My geography is terrible. I am an American stereotype if there ever was one. There it is. There's the old city. Let's see here. To give you an idea, my Tiber crossing was actually, I believe, right here. So you got the Vatican and stuff like that over here. I think that's where it is. Am I turned around? I might be turned around. Again, my geography is terrible. Can't say that enough. Yeah, I know my crossing is somewhere. Oh no, it's this segment here. That's Coliseum. Where I am. I think that's Coliseum. It looks Coliseum-y. No, that looks too modern. I don't know where I am. All I know is that's Rome. It's cool though. Alright.
Descend and maintain 9,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Whiskyfile 2800.
See, I could tell you from a map. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm turned around. See, that was a more modern sporting arena. There's the Coliseum. Really low res because I'm actually far away and I'm zooming in like crazy. That's Coliseum. Right there. Oh, that's right. Vatican is over here. Look at me. I knew geography. It's a Christmas miracle. February. Nice. Yeah, because she would be like, this is supposed to be a romantic getaway. And you brought that with you to go race with your buddies. Yeah, you'd be in the doghouse for sure, my friend. Oh, really? That's cool. Yeah, that definitely sounds like Sicilian. I have an aunt that, or had an aunt. Okay, she has since passed away. But she was very much the feisty, fiery Sicilian aunt. And one of her favorite sayings was pretty much just to tell you, oh, you just go straight to hell. But she was sweet with me. She never actually told me that. She told my dad, because my dad liked to just poke her buttons just a little bit. But she knew he loved her. She loved him too. She liked him. He helped take care of her a little bit the final years of her life. Because he used to work in the city that she, or actually adjacent to the city that she lived in. Alrighty. Now, let's check our METAR data, because they won't tell me until they're already complaining at me for not being at the right level. Ah, 1024. Awesome. So that means this. Actually, just do this. I don't have to convert. So just adjusting the pressure to 1024.
Whiskyfile 2800, contact Rome approach on 125.5. Good day.
125.5 for Whiskyfile 2800.
Let's see here. 1, 2, 5. Oops. Okay. They're just gonna miss the first one. That's helpful. 5. This one. 5.
Rome approach Whiskyfile 2800 is passing 11,600 feet, descending 9,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 2800, Rome approach altimeter 30.12, continue to RF 481 as planned.
Yeah, because we're going to be going below 10,000 feet. Turn those on. And we'll begin our downwind approach. Very shortly. As you can see, it's pretty simple. Here's the upwind, crosswind, and downwind approach. This is going to be, actually this is quite a fair amount of distance for this approach, which is nice.
Whiskyfile 2800, contact Rome Center on 131.1. Good day.
Going to 131.1 Whiskyfile 2800.
Now, because that was the previous channel, actually, we can just back to it.
Rome Center Whiskyfile 2800 is at 9,200 feet, descending 9,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 2800, Rome Center altimeter 30.12, continue to RF 482 as planned.
3012. Okay. Oh, it's because that was the, that wasn't Rome, that was Ibiza's. That's why it was insane. I just can't read. I blame California Public Schools. Hey, Rue! Happy for you to join. Wish I could have been on that one, but I got called into the GT5R race team, so yeah, had I been called into that one, I probably would have joined. But happy for you to be on the last segment of the flight. We are beginning our approach into Rome. And the city is way off that way. Basically flying along the Italian coast, we'll be making our crosswind approach very shortly. We've got about, I think about a minute before we hit the next segment there. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give that stream a watch too, because I'm gonna get me some food, and then I'm gonna watch TV. It's gonna be great. Nice little way to unwind, relax. See, I've got to play this right too, because I want to order right now, because I don't want them to be like, "Hey, we're here," and it's like, "But I'm landing a plane. Can you hold on for a couple of seconds?" And they'd be like, "You're stupid," and they'd be right if I chose that. We can have egg to it. So much food. There are so many choices. I love food. Alright. Because we have at least a few people. Chicken sandwich or pizza? Now, to put this into context, I had the pizza from this place like 2 or 3 months ago. And I haven't had a chicken sandwich from the other place, the chicken sandwich place, in like a few years. But I'm kind of craving both. Okay, we are turning quite a bit, and we are...
Whiskyfile 2800, you are 1,100 feet
Yep.
below your assigned altitude.
I'm aware.
Climb
That
and
is
maintain
all the
9,000
plane,
feet
just doing
altimeter,
plane
30
things.
decimal 12.
Climb and maintain 9,000 feet.
Just wanted to
Whisky
drop
file
out of the sky.
2800.
Goodness. That was dicey. That sounds like good watching. I will make sure to do that. Because that sounds like some wacky racing. Fuji's always fun though. That first turn is can be a bit dicey. I landed this plane on Fuji once. Overshot turn 1, as is per usual, but actually I wonder if I can do it this one. This thing on bank angle. Does. I don't want to fiddle too much. Jesus. Now, what ended up happening to him? I could probably do that. Gotta figure out where Monza is, but...
Whiskyfile 2800, please expedite your climb 9,000 feet.
Pull your jets, broski. It's the autopilot that's doing this. Supposed to make my approach anyway.
Whiskyfile 2800, you are 23 miles south. Descend and maintain 3,500 feet. Expect ILS runway tree 4 right approach via Nevux transition. Cleared to Nevux.
Descend and maintain 3,500 feet. Expect ILS runway tree 4 right approach via Nevux transition. Cleared to Nevux Whiskyfile 2800.
Alright. Walk.
Whiskyfile 2800, contact Rome approach on 125.5. Good day.
Going to 125.5 Whiskyfile 2800. Rome approach Whiskyfile 2800 is passing 8,700 feet, descending 3,500 feet.
Whiskyfile 2800, Rome approach altimeter tree 0 decimal 12, continue to Nevux as planned.
And if you're wondering why I just switched back and forth between those two frequencies, it's just we were out of range of one of them. Alright, so Can't fit, but DQ'd. Of course, it would disqualify because, you know, it's still amazing that you could cheat all that much and still only ever get 5th. Come on, if you're gonna cheat, at least win. Still cooking it at 200 on that straight, man. That is pretty darn quick. I'm trying to think just the GT3 cars, and well, actually, even in the Group 2 cars, it would be only topping out at 180, 190 maybe. Yeah. And you always gotta know your braking points. Ah, okay, so the equalizer. I see. Alright, so zooming in here, you can see the runway. This is the runway that we will be landing on. So this is 34 right. That's 34 left. And if you're wondering, this is a taxiway.
Whiskyfile 2800, descend and maintain 2,500 feet.
Okay, to 2,500 feet.
Descend and maintain 2,500 feet. Whiskyfile 2800.
Whiskyfile 2800, you are 11 miles southeast of Fiume. Contact Fiume Tower on 127.625 when inbound.
Tower on 127.625. Whiskyfile 2800.
127.625.
Fiume Tower. Whiskyfile 2800, 10 miles southeast inbound. ILS runway 34 right approach.
Whiskyfile 2800, Fiume Tower. Altimeter tree 0.12, wind 016 at 20. Cleared ILS runway tree 4 right approach.
Cleared ILS runway tree 4 right approach. Whiskyfile 2800.
Flight crew, prepare for landing. Okay, okay, what you doing, plane? Fine. That is disengaging autopilot because autopilot's being really dumb right now. For some reason, the autopilot in this.
Whiskyfile 2800, wind 026 at 10. Cleared to land runway tree 4 right.
Cleared to land runway tree 4 right. right, Whiskyfile 2800.
Brake set. I've got to get down.
$2,500.
A little bit to the right. The reason why I disabled the autopilot, even though it should be enabled even all the way through the landing,
1,000.
is it was sometimes being a little weird. I noticed the 737 was a little strained with it, but I'm confident enough that I could take over. So that was what the warnings were that I was turning off, the alarm that you heard. I was just disabling that.
$500. $400. $300. $200. $100.
Come on.
$50. $40.
Come on.
$30.
Oh, we're going.
$20. $10.
Down you go. There we go. Not the smoothest of landings, but hey. I'll take it.
Whiskyfile 2800, turn next taxiway.
Yeah, I just went a little bit further down the runway than I would have wanted.
Whiskyfile 2800, contact ground on 121.675.
Awesome.
121.675 Whiskyfile 2800.
Yeah, stop here. And change to radio. 1, 2, 1, 6, 7. Up.
Fume ground, Whiskyfile 2800, taxi to the gate.
Whiskyfile 2800, taxi to gate 528 via taxiway Delta Charlie Delta Charlie Delta Charlie Bravo November Delta Papa Hotel. Whiskyfile 2800, acknowledge last transmission.
Taxiing 4528 via taxiway Delta Charlie Bravo November Delta Papa Hotel Whiskyfile 2800.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rome. The local time is currently, actually it's 1:21 a.m. So, yeah, don't let the sun fool you, it is actually nighttime. For safety, and also the local temperature is currently 6 degrees Celsius. I would tell you that in Fahrenheit, but I think it's mostly, actually it's just Brew and Seal Watching, which are both on metric. I believe it's like 40-something degrees, so maybe get a jacket out. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the fasten seatbelt sign is turned off. This will indicate that we have, in fact, parked at the gate, and it is safe for you to move about the cabin. At this time, you may use your phones, but please keep all personal electronics, such as laptops, stowed, and if you somehow manage to get a desktop PC set up during this flight, first of all, how? And second of all, wow, that's pretty rude, and the guy next to you is really mad at you for encroaching on his space. Please check around your seat for any personal belongings you may have brought on board with you, and please use caution when opening the overhead bins, as heavy articles may have shifted around during flight. Remember, anything left will be sold and all proceeds will be used for whiskey. If you require assistance off the plane, please remain in your seat until all other passengers have disembarked, especially if you've imbibed just a bit too much. Where one of our crew members will be pleased to assist you from anything from just helping carry you to a swift boot in the rear. On behalf of Whiskyfile, Spirit Airlines, and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you aboard again in the near future. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Now, if you are in need of a connecting flight, you will be getting off here because I'm done flying for the day. But there will be TV screens once you leave the jetway that will happily show you to your connecting flight. And again, thank you for flying Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. Do I have too much fun with my formalities? The answer to that is yes I do. Am I ever going to stop doing it? Only when I forget. Yeah, I guess I can turn the flight director on that. Oh, that's why. You know, that's tempting. That's real tempting. Bye, Neil. That is a very funny idea. But nah, the Riskies don't deserve my presence.
will actually show us all the airport data. Show us where we're going to. Now, fun fact, there is actually speed limits on taxiways. It is 30 knots when you're on a taxiway. It is 50 knots when you are getting off of a runway or using a runway as a taxiway. Should you ever really need to. And it is 15 on the apron, which is the sort of jetways and stuff like that that are right by the gates. So you can actually get a speeding ticket. A police plane will come out and come up behind you. You will have to roll down this window, hand them your license and registration. No, I'm just kidding. They usually just find your company, and then you get a stern talking to. Now it's typical for doing about 10 knots or so on turns to avoid stressing out the gear. You're doing 20. That is what's paying attention. I just kind of want to get this puppy to the gate. I will, of course, button up the aircraft as well. Completely shut things down. Yeah, I'm quite pleased. You should have seen the landing I did last time. It was rough. I did not stream that one because I just did like a practice flight into Rome, and it was really cloudy, and I kind of hopped down the runway. It would not have made anyone happy. It was really funny, but it was not a pleasant landing. It was basically me testing out the autopilot and seeing if I can get the autopilot to actually land, which is what it should do, but it doesn't. That's the reason why I had to take over. Which, I mean, I'm, as you saw, reasonably capable of landing this. It ain't a perfect landing, but it's decent. Because typically what you want to do is you want to land where you see those white bars on either side of the runway, and that is 1,000 feet from the numbers, basically from the start of the runway. That's the usual safe place to put the plane down. I ended up floating down the runway just a little while longer, so it was not quite exactly where I wanted to, which is the reason why I was saying, you know, it wasn't the smoothest of landings, but it wasn't bad. I mean, I'm not going to get a call from Southwest or United saying, hey, come be our pilot, but, you know, Spirit might take me. Frontier, possibly. Neighbor's puppy is barking. That squeaky thing. I don't know if I've seen that puppy. I don't recognize that barking. Usually the other dog they have is like a typical small dog bark. That's a squeaky bark. That sounds like a puppy barking. I don't know if any of that could get picked up on the mic. I actually did mess with some noise reduction filters and stuff like that, so you actually don't even pick up my computer making noise, or at least I don't think you do. It doesn't show up on the sound levels. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it's so smart with software. That is a bold forklift. Rolling right through. Not a care in the world. Now eventually I do want to get the mod that has like realistic plane liveries and stuff like that on the planes. So what it'll do is it'll actually put them where they're supposed to be. So like if you're flying out of LAX, you'd have Terminal 1 be all Southwest. There we are. Now, and I guess now is a good time. You can turn off that. And you are free to move out. Please use the front exit, not the rear. It is a long drop to the ground. And again, thank you for flying with Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. It has been a joy. I have greatly enjoyed the conversations with the chat here. It has been quite fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the APU. I should probably actually turn this back here so I can actually do things. There we are. Engines are turned off now. Okay, I'll bring up the checklist here. Basically, we're just going to do the reverse of all this. We've already done this, essentially. Now we can turn off all the lights here. We're going to completely button up this aircraft here. Fuel pumps. Make sure to flip that down because that's so important, because the collision with the mouse always gets in the way. Alright, fuel pumps are off. Let's pull this up the side so we can actually see things. APU is already on. Engine bleed air switch. I can actually click on anything there, that'd be awesome. That was already turned off. Oops, that was not supposed to fly like that. Oopsies. Sometimes. Oh no, it was these bleed switches, that's what that was. Got it. And what we can do is we can turn the battery off. And turn that off. And that is how you shut down the whole aircraft. Alrighty. I've been proper flying in this exact sim. I've been flying for about maybe 4 months, give or take. But in sims overall, I played Flight Simulator back in 2002. And I played that one on and off for a number of years. But rarely did I have a computer that could handle flight sim all that much. So I kind of fell away from it, but just recently getting back into it. So I've been really enjoying it. Yeah, as a kid, I always wanted to be a pilot. So there's that fuel truck just, it drove through the building and the tug and probably my front landing gear. Oh, and the APU should be on. Oops. Nope, we want that off. And if I can actually see over there, that would be nice. Yeah. Alright, so that is everything. The plane will be shut down. Alright, well, I think I'm going to call that a day. I try and do these either every Saturday or Sunday. I will not be here next Saturday or Sunday. I've got things that I've got to take care of. So I will be back in 2 weeks. I will then figure out a flight plan. So if you want a suggestion of where to go, I did like Neil's suggestion, but I don't want to give any credence or anything like that to Russia all that much. But I'm happy to fly just about anywhere. Yeah, they do, but these days it's not really about the RAM anymore, it's about the graphics. But fortunately I do have a rather robust graphics card in here. I also do have 32 gigs of RAM, so pretty much everything I throw at it, it seems to handle like a champ. Yeah, this PC is a monster. But I think that will do it. I'm gonna sign off. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and thank you for joining. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.